Hello everyone, my name is Pavel. Welcome to Personal Finance and Banking Products. Today we're going to be talking about credit. But before we start, I would like to say that all views expressed on this video are my own. They do not represent the opinion of any entity whatsoever with which I have been, I am now, or will be affiliated with. Credit can be a good thing if you use it correctly. So you can buy anything you want as long as you have good credit. You can buy a car, you can buy a house. Speaking of houses, I'm going to be talking about mortgages in my next video. So if you want to know more about mortgages, keep an eye out for that video. You can buy an airplane if you have good credit. As long as you can afford the payments, you can buy anything you want. Now, it can also be bad if you don't know how to use it, because you can get in debt real quick and ruin your credit real fast. So I'm going to be giving you guys some tips. I'm going to be talking about how to build credit for those that are young or have never built credit in the past. We're going to talk about how to get out of debt faster and rebuild your credit. I'll give you some tips on that for those that need that. And also I'm going to be talking about how to keep your good credit. Because anything can happen. You always, want to be ready and keep a good credit score at all times. The way that credit is analyzed, it's by a point system. So it ranges from 300 to 850, and that's your credit score. Now, a good credit score is considered to be anywhere between 670 to 739. And anything above 739 is considered to be a very good credit score. FICO score can be the same as your credit score, but let me explain the difference. So FICO score, it's what different companies or different industries have to figure out whether you're going to be able to pay them back. So each one of them are going to have their own parameters. That's why if you check your credit score with a mortgage company, you may have a different number than if you check your credit score with a furniture store, because they have their own parameters to figure out your score. But the good news is that they all will follow the same guidelines, which are good payment history, good credit history, total account open, credit utilization, any derogatory marks, public records, and hard inquiries. When it comes to analyzing your score, some of these characteristics that I just mentioned weight more than others, depending on the model that the company is using. Now, if you check your score with all three credit bureaus, you'll notice that it will be different for all three. So the reason why is because each one of them have their own model to figure out what's your credit score. Now, another reason why also it can vary is because let's say you made a late payment on a credit card, but the bank only reported that late payment to one of the credit bureaus. So now you have a lower score in that one credit bureau because the late payment negatively impacted your credit. But the other two bureaus don't know anything about a late payment, and therefore there's nothing on your credit that's going to be affecting it, so you have a higher credit score there. So that's another reason why the score may vary. To have a good credit history just means that you have had credit for at least 2 years or more, and that you don't have any major negative impacts on your credit, like bankruptcy, late payments, collections, things of that matter. And lenders want to see these because they want to know that you have experience using credit responsibly. To have a good payment history means that you pay your bills on time. So lenders usually give you about 10 to 15 days grace period for you to make a payment, so they don't charge you a late fee. But if you are late more than 15 days, they will charge you a fee, but they don't report your late payment until you're 30 days behind. Now, depending on the state that you're in, some lenders might close your account after 90 to 120 days late. So if you have a car loan, this could mean that you might get the car repossessed. If you have a credit card open, this could mean that the card is going to be frozen until you make a payment. So having a good payment history, it looks good because lenders will see this as you will pay them on time. Utilization is just how much you're using on your credit cards and any open lines of credit. So lenders want to see that you're staying under 30% of the limit of those credit cards or those accounts. But if you can stay under 10%, that's even better. Derogatory marks can be things like a bill that you never paid and now is in collection, or a bill that you did pay but it's still showing your report as paid in collection, a repossession of a vehicle, foreclosure of a home, all these things, late payments, those are derogatory marks. And they can stay on your report anywhere between 7 to 10 years. So try to stay away from any derogatory marks. Public records are things like bankruptcies and judgments against you. Bankruptcies can stay on your record depending on which one you file, anywhere between 7 to 10 years. Judgments, on the other hand, as soon as you pay whatever you're being sued for, you can have those judgments removed. Total accounts, this is the number of total accounts that you have open. The more you have, the better, as long as they're in good standing with a very low balance to zero. The lenders take a look at this because they want to see that you have multiple accounts and that you are able to handle them responsibly. Hard inquiry. So hard inquiry occurs when you let someone check your credit. So if you're applying to get a credit card, if you are applying for an apartment, if you're buying furniture installments, if you're buying a house, if you're buying a car, all these scenarios will put a hard inquiry on your credit. If you just turned 18, you are at a perfect timing to build credit. And for those that haven't built credit and you took a little longer, that's okay. I'm gonna tell you the fastest way to build credit. And the fastest way to build credit is to have someone help you. And how can they help you? Is by adding you to one of their credit cards, if not their oldest credit card. So the way it works is that once they add you, whatever years they have built in history for that credit card, it automatically transfers to you. Now, you have to be very lucky. Not a lot of people want to do this because they are afraid, and I completely understand why they would be afraid, because if you don't pay the car on time, you will hurt their credit as well. And since you're new, nobody really knows how you're going to do with credit. So at this time, nobody really trusts you with credit, which is okay. So I actually had to build credit on my own because I wasn't lucky, or not lucky, but let's say I wasn't always a good kid that I am now, and my parents maybe they didn't trust me at the time, and so I had to figure it out on my own. So if you are in the same boat that I was, this is what you can do. You can get at least try to get a regular credit card with no annual fee. You'll be surprised. You might get lucky and you might get approved without having to pay an annual fee or start with a secure credit card. But if you don't get approved, and you still have options, which is the secure credit card. So the secure credit card, the way it works is, let's say you put $50 on the card and now your limit will be $200. Now, usually secure credit cards have an annual fee, and so it's okay. That's the price you have to pay for building your credit and not having someone to help you. The good news is that you will only pay this fee once, because if you use the credit card correctly, you pay on time, you don't go over the limit, you won't have to keep the card for more than a year. And after 6 months to a year, you can go ahead and apply for a regular credit card, and hopefully you do get approved, and then you can go ahead and cancel the secure credit card. Although canceling credit cards is not a good idea, and I'll explain later on why, but you obviously don't want to pay an annual fee. So once you have your regular credit card, go ahead and cancel that one. Now, once you have the regular credit card, your goal is to have a $10,000 limit. And the reason why is because if something happens, if you have an emergency, whatever the case may be, and you have to carry a balance on the credit card for more than a month, you don't want to be over that 30% of credit utilization that I mentioned earlier. So the higher the limit, the better. And also, lenders like to see that you have a high limit but you don't use it. So this shows that you are very responsible with credit. How to rebuild your credit. So in my experience, I have seen that a lot of the time people that don't have good credit is because they just didn't know how it worked, or they just didn't think it was important, or at the time they just didn't have the money to pay their bills. So if you're already in debt, and this is why you have bad credit, because your credit utilization is so high, and maybe you have missed a payment here and there, what I'm gonna recommend is that you find out which credit card is the one that's charging you the most. So grab all your credit cards, grab a piece of paper, and start calling the bank or checking the app to see which card is charging you the most. And once you know which card is charging you the most, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep making the minimum payment on all of your credit cards, and any other bill that you may have. You don't want to miss any payments, and for that one card you're gonna pay as much as you can. So everybody else, the minimum payment, not one dime more. And then everything else, even if it's $10, the extra that you can send towards paying that card, send those $10. That's gonna help you pay that card off faster. And once you finish paying that card, then you move to the next one. Find out which one is the highest one, and you continue to pay the same way. Now, another reason why I see bad credits are things in collection. So if you have things in collection, there's still something you can do. That's not the end of the world. You can give them a call, the collection agency. You can call them, and sometimes they are willing to settle for an amount less than what you owe. So try to see if that's an option for you to settle on that account. If you can pay it, go ahead and pay it and get it out of the collection. But you can also work payment plans as well. So if you can't pay the whole thing at once, and they're offering you a payment option, go ahead and take it. If you're able to do $20, $10, doesn't matter what it is, as long as you can do something, and you're working towards paying off that collection. So eventually you're gonna finish paying it off, and then your credit is gonna improve. And then finally, the last thing I notice about people having bad credit is because they don't monitor their credit. They don't know what's going on with their credit. So they can have maybe someone using their name or their social opening accounts, and they won't know. They're gonna have all these missed payments, they're gonna have all these collections. Shoot, they can even have a bankruptcy and not know. So it's very important to monitor your credit. I check my credit twice a week, because with technology nowadays, your information is out there, so anybody can access your information. So you want to monitor your credit. You want to make sure that everything that's there is supposed to be there. Or maybe a company reported a late payment, but you actually didn't pay late. So you want to go ahead and make a dispute about that. A website where you can get your free credit report, it's annualcreditreport.com, You can check your credit score and your annual report there for free once a year, but I don't recommend you check only once a year. A lot of companies nowadays, they offer a free Fico score tool. As long as you have an account with them, many banks offer this tool. So as long as you have an account with them, you have access to the tool. So use it. It's a soft inquiry. It doesn't affect your credit at all. You can check. I believe they update the scores once a week. So at a very minimum, you should be checking once a week. If you have a 711 credit score or above, I just want to say congratulations. You are in the 21% of US citizens that have that score. And to me, that percentage is pretty low. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to make this video, is to help as many people as I can to either build credit, rebuild credit, or just keep their good credit. So one of the mistakes that I have seen in the past is that whenever someone gets upset at a company, they want to close whatever they have with them, and which it's okay. But you also have to know that it's going to affect you too. So a couple of things happen, especially when you close your oldest credit line. One, the history that you have built on that credit card or any open line of credit will be gone. Two, the total accounts open is going to be reduced by the amount of accounts you close, and the available balance is also going to decrease. So if you have a balance on credit cards and your overall credit utilization is less than 30%, that's good. But if you close this card, now your available credit limit decrease, and it might put you above that 30% ratio. So you might want to consider not closing the card, make a plan, maybe have other cards in place before you close that one. And the way to do it is just let it expire. Don't call the company to cancel. Just let it expire. That's the easiest way and the most effective way, so it doesn't affect your credit as much. Cut it up. Don't use it again, or put it in a drawer, let it expire. You'll be done with that card. Like I said earlier, I don't recommend closing any credit cards unless they have an annual fee, because you kind of want to have to put things in a balance. Do I want to have my score drop? Obviously not. But do you want to pay an annual fee for the rest of your life? Obviously not. So to me, I actually have done it in the past, where I canceled my secure credit card because it had an annual fee, and just kept my regular credit card. So that's the only time that I would recommend you closing a card, whenever they have an annual fee. Now, another common error that I've seen is a lot of inquiries. So I usually see this when people want to buy a car. So if you go to a dealer and get a car loan, the way that most dealers work is that they work with a lot of lending institutions. And so what they do is they grab all your information and they send it to all these lenders that they work with. And whoever gets you approved or the best rate, that's the one that they will go with. Now, what's the problem with this? The problem is that if they work with 12 different lenders, now you have 12 different inquiries for one transaction, which was buying the car. Now, I don't usually buy cars from dealers, or I don't get a loan from dealers, and that's the main reason why. And whenever I had to, I'll make sure to tell them, please make sure you only check my credit once, and do not give them permission to run your credit more than once. Inquiries, they stay in your credit for 2 years. So if you have 12 inquiries, you're gonna have those 12 inquiries for the next 2 years. And when trying to get a loan, lenders see a lot of inquiries as a red flag. And the reason why is because if they see all these inquiries, they might think that you are trying to borrow more money than what you can pay, and probably you're going into all these different lending institutions to try to get the money. So try to stay away from a lot of inquiries, even though they don't weigh much on your score. But when trying to get more loans or more open lines of credit, it doesn't look so great. This is it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you still have any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out. My next video is going to be talking about mortgages. I am a loan officer now, so I'm going to be concentrating more on home loans, programs, things of that matter. So if you want to know more, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with anything that you may need. Until next time, guys, thank you again for watching. If you think this video is going to help somebody, please like it, share it, and I will see you guys next time.